Hello everyone, and welcome to Toadstool House Art. My name's Adele, and today we are getting straight into things, and I'm starting us off with a new illustration. So this is going to be one of two. I wasn't actually going to do any Halloween illustrations because I thought it was like a bit late, but I did some sketches and I liked them, so I decided to do them anyway. So these are going to become pins, and my idea was to draw these little sort of, I've been calling them pumpkin cats, but they're basically going to be based on my cats. So I have 4 cats, and 2 of them are black cats, so they're sort of like, you know, perfect for Halloween. So this is based on my cat Salem, who has been nicknamed Devil Child because he has so far taken out a fruit bowl and a 30-year-old vase that he cut down off a windowsill. So I'm drawing there in Procreate, and now I'm ready to move on to painting because these are going to both be watercolor, and I use, as you can see, Reeves paint. So they're going to be really similar to how I usually do my watercolor illustrations. Oh yeah, you can see there the paint separated. Do you ever have watercolor and it separates like that? It's absolutely fine. It's still usable. So I traced it out using a brown Copic pen, and I'm just going around the pumpkin in layers of orange, working my way up from a very watered down, very yellowy orange to a much deeper one. And I'm doing what I usually do and adding in like kind of like that nice splotchy texture that I like. I did go pretty ham on it on this one, I have to admit. But for me, it's been a few weeks since I did a watercolor painting, and every time that I leave it like that and come back to it, I'm like, oh, what do I do? How do I do this? I always forget, even though I've done so many now. If I don't do something for like a week, I don't know how to do it again. And it's been a couple of weeks since I did a watercolor painting, so it always feels really weird coming back to it. And then for his little witchy hat, I'm giving it kind of this purple tint, because I realise I can't, if I put a black hat on a black cat, it's not going to show up very well. It's going to be, there's going to be too much black at the top of the illustration with the orange on the bottom. It just separated it too much. So I mixed in sort of a little bit of purple in there as well, just to make it stand out a bit better. And so that his ears wouldn't get lost. And then for his accessories, I'm doing it all in this sort of, not quite a lime green, but close. So then you've got all the classic Halloween colours, your purple, your orange, and your green, and obviously your black. And I even did his bandana in the same, because we have found out that Salem looks really good in a bandana. It's so cute, although he does suit a red one better. Red is definitely his colour. We've got him a red collar and everything. So, but just to make these sort of illustrations go together, I did that in green. Because when you're illustrating something this sort of small, you don't really want to be adding in too many colours. When you're illustrating sort of 3 colours, is usually 3 main colours is enough. Alright, so his fur, this was sort of, it was a mistake on my part what I did is how I usually paint, which is to go in layers and build up from very light. I started out with grey into black, and it looks terrible. What I'm trying to do is add in a lot of fur texture, and on an illustration this small, it just does not work. It's just too much. It's really distracting. The features of his face are getting lost. So I do, right at the end, I did come back and fix it by just going over it, mostly with just like a solid black. So you could only see sort of a little bit of the texture, but I think that's a much better. So there you can see at the top, it's now just mostly solid black. And then going over the lines again with a Copic. I have 2 of these pens, same colour, just one's really thin, a 0.05, and the other one's a number 1. And I go with the 0.05 to draw it out in the first place, and then I go in with this thicker one at the end just to make all those lines nice and bold so you can see everything. And I did go around Salem there with a very, very fine black pen. And there he is, all done. I think he's really cute. I like the way his little paws are coming over the edge there. And all the texture I was able to get on that pumpkin. So glad I fixed his fur. And yes, these are going to be another pin that should be in the shop soon, not sure when. And I'm going to be doing another illustration of my other cat, Bramble, a little bit later in the vlog. Thinking about that. Do we have rice? So I just came into the front room to play with Salem with his toy because he's in a bit of a he's in a bit of a mood. I don't think anyone's played with him yet today. And I just looked out the window and look how pink that sunset is. It's not the best view because the houses are in the way, but look how nice that sky is. Right, so now I'm on to drawing my other cat, Bramble. I'm not sure why I started it out on an angle like this. I really don't know, but I do sort that out there. So I decided to draw her on a pumpkin that would have the candle inside, so she's like keeping herself like toasty and warm by sitting on top of it. Because that is the sort of thing she would do. And Bramble is... Salem and Bramble are from the same litter, they're brother and sister. But Salem's sort of like a sort of sleek, somewhat glossy black cat like you would see. And then Bramble's really fluffy. So apparently she gets that from her dad. And it's just sort of funny that they're from the same litter and they've got the same face, but then one's really fluffy and one's all silky. So for this one, I added in the yellow in and around the mouth just to show the light of the candle coming out. And then completely forgot to do it with the eyes. I have no idea why. So I ended up starting to paint the orange of the pumpkin on first. And then having to go back and then trying to, get the yellow of the eyes to look like they're glowing. Luckily, I was able to do that because it was just on top of the first layer. So I was able to sort of push that orange paint back a little bit away from the eyes. With more yellow paint. And then when I added and deepened in all the orange on the pumpkin, I just sort of avoided the sort of yellowy areas so it kept that sort of nice sort of glow look. So yeah, that was close. I really didn't want to redraw all my outlines or anything like that. And on this one I sort of restrained myself a bit more. I went a little easier on that watercolor texture because I didn't want to, because this one is a much busier illustration really. Well, not hugely busier, but it's definitely busier. So I didn't want too much texture on that pumpkin to sort of distract from it. But then on the leaves I do that because I like doing that on leaves. I think it looks really nice when you add in all sorts of colours of greens and yellows and you just sort of let the paint merge itself together. I think that looks really nice. That's the kind of watercolour look I like. And then on the stems I use pretty much the same greens for the leaves, but I used it in a different way. So I started adding in all these lines just to show the texture there. Because you'll know if you've ever had a pumpkin that the stem they're really textured and very prickly. So when it came to painting Bramble's fur, I didn't waste any time this time. I just painted everything solid, just using the black paint, just watered down black paint for the first layer, which I realise here does look very messy. That is in part because I am using a brush that's probably a little too small for some of these areas, but sometimes I get lazy and I don't switch between my brushes. But I do go back with another layer and that evens it all out. And then same again, going in with my Copic and thickening up all those lines and really sort of bringing all the detail back out again. Because as you see, as you paint over it, it does fade the lines, which is like not a bad thing. In some illustrations you can do that to sort of push the lines further into the background. But in this case, since these are going to be pins, I need all the lines to be pretty clear and to just stand out. And then as usual, I add in any detail that I didn't before, because like drawing the veins on the leaves, there's no point me drawing those in on the first pass, because going over would just dull them down, and then I would have to go in again at the end over the top. And I don't want those lines to be too thick, because they are meant to be quite delicate little details. Same with the stem, where I've just gone in here, added more of those lines to really show how sort of textured that is. And then I'm drawing around all these little swirly vine bits as well. those were quite difficult to paint because they are quite delicate. Luckily I do have a very small brush for all these bits and pieces. And the outlining bit, it's kind of relaxing but kind of nerve-wracking as well, because it is the last step. And then I'm going around with my finest black pen, because I always think a brown outline on something black doesn't quite work. You need the outline to be a little bit darker. So I just put in all of Bramble's facial details in and fix all those bits of fur. And there she is, all done. And looking very happy, I must say, to be sat on a pumpkin, which she would be. Bramble does like to sit on things like that. And they are autumn sort of babies. We got them in 2020, so this is just sort of the perfect aesthetic for them. And I'm very pleased with that pumpkin's face. That's a really good pumpkin face. I do like the goofy looking pumpkins. And I thought I would come in and just show you how I actually take off the background before I can send these things off to be made into other things. So first of all I put it into Photoshop and I do any colour correcting that needs to be done. And then I send it over to Procreate so I can use my iPad. And I will first get the selection tool and I will take off as much of that, sort of the outside bit, as possible. And then with an eraser tool, I will just kind of, I suppose, shave away until I get right up to that edge. And it does take some time, although I have to say these weren't bad. I have done much trickier illustrations before where the outline was too detailed, but there they are, all done and completely background free. They just need to be resized and sent off, and they will be pins soon. Don't know when. Okay. First things first, I have a new mug, and isn't it nice? it's so cute. We actually went looking for the pumpkin mugs in Poundland because we knew they had some. So we went out last week to see if we could get one. Couldn't find any. Our local Poundland didn't have any. But then on the way home, we decided to stop off at Home Bargains, and they had these, and I got the last two that didn't have any marks on them or anything, because sometimes they have like something wrong with like the coating. So yeah, I got two of these, and they weren't much more than the pound. They're like £1.20, £1.40, something like that. But yeah, this is gonna be so cute. So right now it's got tea in it, but I would like to make some hot chocolate or something, because like that with like all the whipped cream on top will look really nice. And obviously it would be tasty, but look nice in a video. Oh yeah, speaking of chocolate, a little disappointed because I also this is also from Home Bargains, and what that is, it's one of those chocolate bombs that have been really popular. This one's a Halloween one, that's why it's an eyeball. But I didn't read the packaging properly, because it says they're filled with marshmallows, and I'm vegetarian, so I don't eat marshmallows. But it won't go to waste. That's probably going to go to one of my nieces for Halloween, because I'm sure they'll enjoy that. But I do have some silicone molds of my own to make chocolate bombs with. They're just, two halves of a sphere. So at some point I will be doing that, because I like, I think I'm going to do them with like the Nesquik chocolate. I think that'd be really nice. Oh, well, maybe the strawberry one. I don't know if that'd be good warm though. But I'll see. So the mug is not actually the only pumpkin thing I have. I got this. Ooh, really cute. It's like a little, I guess you call it a sugar bowl, really, because it's only small. Like, you couldn't have like a bowl of soup out of that or anything. And it did come with a absolutely tiny spoon. So yeah, that's just sat on display in the kitchen. And it probably will be up until like, the end of November. But that I couldn't find it at one of these anywhere in the UK. I'm sure there must be some, but I had to order this one from China, and it made it all the way, and there's like not a mark on it, because I knew it was a risk, but I really wanted it. They had some other colours as well. I think they had white and maybe a pink one. And I was like, I don't need three. I don't need the whole set. So yeah, I just got that one. And oh yeah, I showed the cats my paintings of them. They weren't impressed. They just wanted to know where their snack was, looking at me like I'm crazy. So these I've just finished like today erasing all the background off, so they are almost ready to send off to get made into pins. I'm just going to I just need to resize them, and that's all. And so I'm sending off the file at exactly the size I want it to be, which shouldn't take me too long because I've only got these two to do. I am going to reorder, while I'm getting those, I'm going to reorder my mushroom pins, because that is my most popular pin, and they have sold out almost except one, because someone's bought one today and I have one left, and that is it, which is great. So yeah, I do need to get more of those, and I think I will get more of the frog, because that's my next sort of bestseller after the Toadstool. I think, yeah, I think it is. I don't know if I'll get any more of the others in this order, or whether I'll wait till the next one. Because I don't want to. I don't want to underorder. I don't want to overorder. Because what I'm doing is I'm actually booked in to 3 Comic-Con conventions coming up. Because I did a couple like right at the beginning of last year, before we even knew about COVID or anything. So I did those, and I've done a few over the years, just sort of now and again, like not not like properly professionally or anything like that. Just go set up a stall and just do that for the weekend. But yeah, now I'm booked into 3, and they're all ones that have been pushed back from 2020, and they've been like reorganized on different dates like a couple of times, and now they're all clustered together instead of being like throughout the year. They're all back to back to back 3 weekends in a row, starting at the end of October. So I don't know how that's going to affect these vlogs, because I might just not have time. I'm either going to cut them down to, I'm thinking maybe just do vlogs once a week instead of twice a week. But like if any get like skipped, like you know why, because I've got I've got quite a lot to do just to get ready, because one of them, the last one, is a really big one that's at the NEC, and I've never done that one before. This is the first like really big one I've ever gotten into, and I I almost didn't do it because it's quite expensive, but then I thought, oh, like I've gotten like no other opportunities for these, just because there's so few going on at the moment, which for obvious reasons. And if they get cancelled, they get cancelled, is basically what these companies are saying, and then can't really blame them, because they might, if anything happens, sort of like with the numbers in the news. But I'm double jabbed, so I'm fine. As is my whole family, so we're good. So yeah, I'm just gonna be really busy because I've got lots of things to make, and for the conventions I'm putting sort of like lucky dip bags together, because I think it was in my last vlog where I showed some keyrings that I designed before I became Toadstool House Art, and they look quite different. Well, I do have like odd bits and bobs, like sort of left over, like art prints. I've got lots of badges and keyrings that were left over from when I just made stuff for fun, but to also sell. So I've got like a really weird range, and I don't really want to put that on the stall with my new stuff, because it just doesn't match, just doesn't go together, and I don't do that anymore, so I don't want to get known again for that when I just don't do it. So I'm just putting everything in like these lucky dip bags. I'm just going to sell them, have like a big sale on them, and just so that I'm not like left with a bunch of stock. And I've done like lucky dip bags before, and they always seem to go well. If the price is right, they always seem to go well. So yeah, I've got all that to do. Yeah, I think that's it for this week. Well, today anyway. So yeah, and I will have a lot more sublimation stuff coming. I know I keep promising that, and I'm doing bits and bobs behind the scenes, but I've got to get like things filmed and then edited and all that. So it's like a whole process. It's not like just sit down, do it, film it, and then upload it. It's not quite as easy as that. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be sublimating on some sort of purses and pencil cases soon. So yeah, I'm not gonna say when though, because I don't know. I don't know my schedule at the moment. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed me seeing me paint, because it's actually been, for me, it's been a few weeks since I've painted anything. So it always feels weird getting back into it, and I'm like, how do I do this? I don't remember. But yeah, so yes, I do not know when these will arrive as pins. It's just it depends how busy the company is. So it could be next week, could be the week after. If they're really busy, it'll be even later than that. So yeah, I can't promise when they're going to be in the shop, but as soon as I will get them, I will put them straight on, because it's almost Halloween. I'm running out of time to get like Halloween stuff up. I did do these really late. So yes, thank you for watching, and I hope I will see you next time. Bye.